So here's Irma. So Irma, amazing job here that you have your headshot. A lot of realtors don't put their headshot on their Google business page. That's the first thing is like, I get this instant connection with Irma. I see what she looks like. I see she's professional. She's serious about business, right? Make sure that it's your headshot here. She's got 3 Google reviews on there. That's great. You definitely want to work on getting more reviews. And here's something that most people don't know. You can actually add your sold properties right on your Google business page. So there's a section called products and services through the dashboard. You can add your sold, you're available, you're under contract, but I know you're all busy. So to save you time on maintenance, I would say just put your sold properties there so you look like you sell a lot of real estate and you won't even have to update it over time.
Zach, what do I do when a video goes viral? How do I milk that for all it's worth?
Hey, we're alive. So, hey, everybody, it's Johnny Mo. Welcome to another LabCoatAgents podcast. I am here, and this is going to be an excellent one. I'm here with Alex Montalenti from RealGrader, and we're going to be talking about your online reputation. We're going to be talking about Google and, all these other great things. And I really think what we're about to talk about is, quite frankly, one of the most important, if not the most important thing that you should be considering in your entire digital strategy and in your entire, it's your digital footprint. It's how the consumer is going to find you, right? Because let's just face it, in my presentation, I talk about how connected we are. We are connected to the internet for 8+ hours a day. That's 1/3 of your life or something along those lines, right? 1/3 of your life is sleeping. 1/3 of your life is connected to the internet one way or another. And then 1/3 is more work and family time and fun and leisure. But we're going to take a look at your digital footprint with Alex. Alex, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, anytime we can have conversation like this and bring it to the forefront and actually hear it from somebody other than me or Tristan or something else like that. It's always good to hear it from somebody else who, that's your business, right? This is what you guys do.
Absolutely. You guys always talking about Google. And it's crazy. I just came from Inman in Vegas, and I was taking some of the heavy hitters walking down the aisles, the biggest real estate influencers. And they're like, yeah, I don't need this Google stuff. Like, I got it all dialed in. I'm like, all right, you got it so dialed in, take a seat. Let's Google you right now. Mm-hmm. And then I would Google people and they would literally flip out of their seats, seeing stuff that they didn't even know was there. And they're like, how do I get this fixed? I got to get this fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from a brand new agent to a top producer, their Google presence is out there, and you got to check in on it from time to time and see what's there so you don't get surprised. I mean, I had one guy like screaming all kinds of profanities right there because he was freaking out about his Google presence.
It's not your, hey, listen, man, it's not the doctor's fault that they showed you have an ailment, right?
Right.
It's your fault for not taking care of or whatever led up to that ailment. But it is amazing and this is one of the things that when we talk about often working on your business, not just in your business, this is one of those things. You got to work where I think agents miss it often. I don't mean to pick on y'all. I'm one of you. But I can pick on you a little bit. I think where we miss the boat often is we don't look at things through the consumer's perspective. We look at things through our own personal perspective, which is the absolute worst place to be looking at, because it doesn't really matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what your habits are in this particular, it matters what the consumer habits are and what the consumer sees. So try searching for yourself in an incognito window one day. Try searching about yourself from a different computer where you're not completely cookied and all that other stuff. You can even try it from your phone, but often you might be logged into your Google profiles on your phone. Try it from a different phone and see what the consumer would see. Right. Well, I know what we're going to be looking for, Alex, is a volunteer. Right. So if somebody wants to volunteer, we're going to do a search on you live. We're going to see what your digital footprint looks like. So if you would like that, if you're on Zoom, put it in the chat. In the Zoom, we'll grab somebody. And if you're live watching us on Facebook, I'm going to try to go navigate over there, put it in down there. and we'll put it in there.
I'll go through a little bit of the content. I got a couple slides I can throw up on the screen, and then we can jump into the hot seat. In the meanwhile, I do see some names coming through, which is great. So I'll present this for you here. And let me grab this chat over here, boom and boom. So give you a little background on me. So I've been in the industry over 21 years. This is my mom. She was a realtor. She's retired now. And she basically did everything from scratch to retire through real estate. She came from Romania in 1968. My family's house got taken away during communism. Grandfather's factory got taken away. My grandfather was in the prison system, and my mom and grandma escaped and landed at JFK Airport with nothing. And then a Romanian gentleman picked them up and said, here's $1 and a phone number where you can get a job. They started working in the factory in Queens, New York at the Staples factory, and then my mom started doing rentals in Queens, New York. And my grandmother worked in the hotels as a housekeeper and eventually moved her way up. But my mom started doing rentals. Then she got into residential. Then she got into Long Island residential, like pricier homes. And eventually she saved enough money to put a down payment on this property, which was in a great location. She rented out both sides of this house, and then eventually lived in one side, and then eventually lived in the whole thing, and then sold it and retired. So my mom is like way beyond me in entrepreneurship. Like I started where she let me start, but she started from zero. And, you know, I love real estate because I've been in it obviously my whole life. And in 99, I started helping my mom because she was struggling with the internet, with technology. I started doing marketing for her, email marketing. And one of the properties that I marketed for her landed in the right inbox. And it was an $80,000 commission check back then. So then I started doing SEO and websites. I built right out of this little arrow here, turned that garage into an office, and we were building websites for brokerages back in 2001 until we had enough employees working out of my garage, brokers driving into our driveway to buy websites, and then we finally got an office. So this is back
when realtors didn't even realize the importance of the internet. I got into the business in 2001, fresh out of the .com e-commerce world, and I killed it as a result of no pay-per-click was 25 cents back then, right?
Yes.
Boy, so good for you seeing that, and good for you being that path blazer. So
yeah, thanks. So yeah, I kept in the industry, and the biggest question I was getting in the last 5 years is, hey, Alex, how am I doing online? How's my Google? How's my website? How's my stuff? So that's where the RealGrader came in. We said, you know what? Let's build a software that audits them on all the profiles, checks 181 data points on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and then homes.com, realtor.com, and Zillow. So basically a full snapshot of your online presence. And then we gave recommendations, and then everybody was like, okay, great. Now can you fix it? And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll be the fixers. So we went in and started fixing people's online profiles. I've trained over 40,000 agents. We're partnered with a lot of major brands, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, KW, EXP, you name it. I did win just recently this year a 2CC award for doing $1 million in revenue from one marketing funnel. And definitely listen into our podcast, Real Estate Influencers Podcast. And I'm just sharing that with you to say, like, I've come a long way since being the one-man show. And anybody listening into this who's the solo agent, delegating some of that work is really how you're going to get there. I mean, Tristan talks about it all the time. He's got 19 VAs. VAs could start at $10 a week. Okay. I mean, it's just a little project you dish off, and then maybe you dish off 3 projects, then you dish off 5 projects. But don't try to do all this stuff yourself, because I used to be that guy, and I crashed into a cemetery falling asleep at the wheel. And next thing I know, I woke up and I'm like, wait a second, I can't do this or I'm not going to be here very long. I used to be the guy that stayed up till 4 a.m. every single night working. So, you know, I see the struggle on the internet. 48% of realtors say keeping up with technology is their biggest challenge. They need a lot of help. And what we want to do is teach you how to build a strong social presence, a strong Google presence without wasting hours and hours trying to figure all this stuff out. So I'm going to give a lot of shortcuts today. I'll give a lot of tips. And by doing the hot seat, taking somebody through it, we'll all get to see from, like you said, Joe, the consumer's point of view. What is it like if I Google an agent? What's my experience like? right? I want to list or buy with you. I'm going to look you up. And where am I going to go? It's going to be Google. It used to be Zillow, right? Like we used to say, oh, they're just going to find me on Zillow. Nowadays, Zillow reviews don't mean much, right? Now it's all about the Google reviews. So this is what it looks like. You know, when I Google somebody and they have a foundation that's solid, they're going to have a solid realtor.com that's like populated, filled in, service areas. LinkedIn, they've got a LinkedIn profile with their branding. They've got a Facebook profile, a YouTube page, an Instagram page, a Zillow page, a homes.com, and then they got this beautiful Google business page with a bunch of 5-star reviews. Mm-hmm. If anybody's thinking, how many reviews should I have? At this point, if you're in the business, you should be at least 25 reviews.
All of them. Things, right?
What's that?
All of them. That's my answer. How many reviews should I have? All of them.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, if you look at like Gary Ashton, you know, he's gotten over 950 reviews, #1 RE/MAX team in the world, right? So, I mean, there's people out there with a ton of reviews. And this is what a search looks like when I search Elizabeth Jones, for example. I'm going to see her realtor.com. I'm going to see her Facebook. I'm going to see her homes.com or Instagram. And that's because all of her presence is like interconnected, right? She's got all her stuff set up. So this is really the foundation. What we do is we measure, manage, and maximize your digital presence. The measure part is we give you a free grade. Any of you can go to getyourfreegrade.com and we will give you a free grade of your online presence. And this is what we see. These are the biggest mistakes. After checking out 240,000 plus, probably 250,000 at this point, agent profiles, these are the biggest mistakes we're seeing. Inconsistent social media, right? Lack of branding, sometimes wrong branding, which is really scary. You know, like I was just at I don't even say names, but I was at one brokerage and a couple of agents still had the old brokerage. The other day I was on with a manager that still had old brokerage information, right? You really want to check your stuff out, especially if you switch companies. Broken links and outdated information. I see broken links all the time, stuff not going to their websites, not going to their landing pages, YLOPO clients not linking to their YLOPO site, stuff like that. Inappropriate or negative content, bad reviews. I was at Inman, this lady came over, she's like, Google me, I'm amazing. I sat her down, she had like a 2-star rating on Google. First review was a 1-star and it was like a nightmare. That's like the last thing you want to run into when you're going to get a listing presentation. The consumer brings that up to you. Missing profiles, duplicate profiles. I see people with 4 Zillow profiles. If you're dual licensed in multiple states, you often have a lot of profiles and one of them is usually blank and one is filled in. Data is not synchronized. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to be looking for. If you have questions or you want to get audited, this is my cell phone number. Feel free to jot it down. But let's Google somebody because Diversified Influence is the name of the game. So Joe, any comments, Joe, on what you're seeing so far? Anything you want to add to it?
No, man, you're 100% right that on all of that, you know, that you got to be seen in these particular areas. And until we know, we don't know, right? And so I think it's really important that we need to be auditing ourselves. I say that all the time. Go Google yourself, right? Go see, because if you have a 1-star review, that is going to greatly impact you, right? I tell people often, go every time you should be getting Google reviews from everybody, and then taking that Google review, taking a screenshot, and then making a video of it. And you can simply do that in Canva, right? You can record a video of yourself on your phone, upload that to Canva, move a frame on top of the picture, and there you go. Hey, look at this, another 5-star Google review, right? But anyways, we got several.
Another great tip that a lot of people don't know is you can copy reviews from anywhere and put them in realtor.com in the recommendation section.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
Go into the realtor.com dashboard. They got 2 types of reviews. One is user created. The other one is dashboard created. So in recommendations, you can load that thing up with like 200 reviews. That's
a good job for a VA, right?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect outsource job.
Anyways, we got a couple people in the chat section over here. Irma says she's from New Jersey. She uses RealGrader for my virtual business card. Please Google my name. So let's start with her. Let's go ahead and use her because she's using some product. Irma Daniels from New Jersey, IRMA.
That's perfect. And while I'm doing that, feel free to put in the chat, what would you grade yourself? Like 1 through 100. If 100 was, I'm awesome, Google me, I'm 100% confident, and 0 is I'm invisible online, somewhere in between is where you are. Put that number in the chat. Be honest with yourself. That's like your first assessment, first realization, like, wow, I'm not really on my game here. I need to make sure I do something about it. So, and then meanwhile, I'll bring up Irma here. Irma Daniels.
We'll do a couple of them, guys. So don't get too worried about that.
So here's Irma. So Irma, amazing job here that you have your headshot. A lot of realtors don't put their headshot on their Google business page. That's the first thing, is like, I get this instant connection with Irma. I see what she looks like. I see she's professional. She's serious about business, right? Make sure that it's your headshot here. She's got 3 Google reviews on there. That's great. You definitely want to work on getting more reviews. And here's something that most people don't know. You can actually add your sold properties right on your Google business page. So there's a section called products and services through the dashboard. You can add your sold, you're available, you're under contract, but I know you're all busy. So to save you time on maintenance, I would say just put your sold properties there so you look like you sell a lot of real estate, and you won't even have to update it over time. Because if you put your available, then you got to put it under contract, then from under contract to sold. So that's just a tip right there. You all have the ability to put your bio. I love that Irma has a nice lengthy bio here. Gives a little bit of story about her. One thing to add to your bio is your service areas. By adding your service areas to your bio, you're going to get more search engine optimization, and you're going to show up on more searches with your Google business page. Now, this Google business page occupies 40% of the screen right now on the desktop view. On a mobile device, it occupies 100% of the screen. Like everybody knows, when you Google a restaurant, the first thing you see is that Google business page with pictures of food and like the menu and the phone number. Every single realtor should have that. And if you don't have a Google business page, at least take that away today. Is like, everybody can set up a Google business page for free. It takes time. You can pay somebody to do it. You can outsource it, but you should at least have it. Somebody said, can you please repeat how to add sold sales to products and services? Yes, you log into your Google My Business dashboard, and then there's a navigation button on the left-hand side called products and services. You go in there and you add a product, which is your property. And then you can upload the picture, the description. You can even put the price. You don't have to. It's up to you. And how do you, Melissa's asking, how do I get the picture to stay? So you can actually set a default image for your profile photo so that other people don't override your photo. Sometimes people upload pictures to Google business pages and that takes over what you had, but there's a default photo setting. So that stays as your headshot or your logo or whatever you want. So far, so good. Yep, we're covering everybody. Sweet. Let's move on to the next section for her. So for Irma, I'm going to go into your realtor.com. So here's your realtor.com. And, obviously you're at Christie's. And if that's the case, and I see that you have a golf course here, that's great, but I'm sure you don't sell golf courses. You probably sell properties. So we want to make sure that this is branded to something that represents your company, has your logo, has your title, has your phone number. Really leverage this branded image, because this image is not only going to be on realtor.com. You can put an image like this on Facebook. You can put an image like this on Google. You can put an image like this on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Those are called banner cover images. And you want to make sure all of those are consistent across the board. Just like, we never see Berkshire Hathaway Home Services advertising different ways. We see their branding, right? Just like Christie's International. I want to see that branding. Now, Irma, you do have a bio missing here. You want to make sure you put in a good bio here and have that bio be consistent, have that bio mention service areas. You want to make sure that the areas served, you expand this list, because right now you're only going to show up on a search for these 3 towns. You could show up on a search for 18 different towns as a realtor in that area. You could even upload like a whole list of 250 zip codes, right? I wouldn't get too crazy, try to stay focused, but definitely up to 18 is a good recommendation. Joe, any comments so far?
No, that's good stuff. I got some notes written down. So after you go through your thing for the Google thing that we'll discuss.
Perfect. So over here, you see reviews and recommendations. This recommendation section, that's the one where you can copy reviews from anywhere through the realtor.com dashboard. By the way, when you log into realtor.com, there's two ways to log in. One is for consumers, but another one is for professionals, which is you as a realtor, and that's going to give you access to the whole dashboard. In there, you can upload as many reviews as you want under recommendations. So there's no reason for anybody not to have an online reputation on realtor.com. Now, realtor.com is coming up on a lot of searches lately, so I would keep your eyes on that. And let's keep moving down here. Irma, any comments? How are you doing over there? Let me know in the chat.
I got a question for you. It's one of
Sure.
my questions that's written down, and you might get to it because I think you're probably going to click on Zillow or something next. But I see reviews down there. Where do those reviews come from?
These right here under Zillow?
No, over on the right, in the right column.
These are her. Oh, so these are her Google reviews. And then sometimes Google picks up on your Zillow stuff.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. It's not like there's no way to control it in the dashboard. It's just one of those indexing things. Same thing with social media icons. If you're really well connected with all your profiles, then Google picks that up on the indexing, and then you get those social icons on the bottom, but not everybody has that.
That's why it's important to have your right name. Right.
Yeah. Nancy says, can we copy reviews from Zillow to Realtor? You can copy anything to realtor.com. All right, so let's pop on to Zillow for a second, see what's going on there. So great, she's got her sales data, 9 sales in the last 12 months. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but for all of you, you want to be making sure that your sales data is up to date. Okay, now she's got 4 reviews. Zillow doesn't consider your profile complete unless you have 5 reviews. I don't focus too much on Zillow, but I mean, you want to have some reviews on Zillow, and nowadays you want to be getting all your reviews on Google. I take a Google first strategy on reviews. That's the first place I would be getting reviews. In your bio, she's got an amazing bio here. She's telling her story, and not a lot of people know this, is you can put links in your bio on Zillow. Okay, that's super huge for SEO because Zillow is so highly indexed. And now imagine if you're linking off your profile to your company website, to your lead generation website, or your social media sites. You can put a bunch of links in here, and you do that right through the dashboard of Zillow.
Do you have to do it like YouTube where it's https:// or is there a place to insert link?
There's you have to put the full link in. Yeah, they're not making it that easy for you. That's why not a lot of people have it. But
so I say that because a lot of people will put a link, guys. So listen up to what Alex has said. You got to put the https:// and then the rest of the link, whether it's a www or whatever.com, right? Otherwise, it does the https:// for whatever, you know what I mean? It allows it to be clickable. Right, it's telling the system, hey, HTTPS, which is hypertext something protocol, right? I don't recall what it stands for. It's a clickable link, so make sure if you're going to do what he's saying that it's https://
Yeah, always test your links. You know, test your links even on the bottom right hand side of Zillow. And Irma over here is saying, tell the audience that the Instacard offers links for reviews. And yes, so I mean, one of the products I'll talk about in a second is our digital business card. Tristan has one. He says it rocks. We just did a deal with the Miami Association of Realtors. And basically this digital card called an Instacard will help you get reviews on Google really easily via text message. And that's how a lot of our clients are getting like 80, 100 reviews on Google when normally they were having a lot of struggle.
What's it called?
It's called Instacard. And that's what you're seeing in the background here. Like this is my Instacard. And if you scan that QR code, you'll get my Instacard.
Gotcha.
So
I thought you said Instacart for a minute. I was going to get some groceries too.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting hungry myself. So yeah, they, well, anyway, we did get in, we did have some law issues with Instagram, but we did win and we got the trademark for Instacart.
So also one thing to understand, just so you all know too, I'm just going to throw this 1 minute of technical jargon out there. Zillow is most likely an authority out there. It's probably not ranked as high as Google if Google's doing the ranking because Google's #1, but Zillow would be considered a top level domain or a top level authority, right? So when you get a link back from a top level domain to your website, it's validating your website, right? Link backs are important. When done correctly, they're powerful. When they're done wrong, they can hurt you, quite frankly, right? So if you have like a link farm that's linking back to you, that's not a top level domain. It's just a link back. But when you can take that and you make searches on, your website, because you're not going to be penalized, right? So you make searches. Are you looking in? She had 3 search areas. What were those 3 search areas? Is it on this one that she had it?
Yeah, down here. Well, right now she has 0, by the way, Irma. So you're not getting found on any search.
So if you're looking for, I'm just going to use the ones that are listed there. If you're looking for homes in Gloucester, take a look here. If you're looking for homes in Alpine, click here. If you're looking for, you get the picture, right? And then when the people click on that and they're landing on your website, because that's where we're directing them to a predetermined search. Well, man, I'm getting excited because we're talking about some true digital marketing stuff. No, when you're landing on that website, your website should be pixelated. That's your whatever tracking code or whichever retargeting method you're following. Facebook calls it pixel, right? That should be there. So now all of a sudden, when they go to Facebook or they're back to Google or YouTube, whatever your system is, then all of a sudden there you are. Hey, right? So it's another way to drive traffic to where you're going. So there's 2 benefits by having links on your profile right there.
Totally. It's huge. Yeah. It's high authority links. So yeah, I mean, you're getting them here on the right-hand side, but that's kind of just part of the profile. When you put them in here, it's part of the HTML. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Service areas are huge for everybody. You don't realize this, but like you should have 15 service areas on Zillow too. Otherwise you won't be found on a search. For those of you looking to get Googled, by the way, if you go to getyourfreegrade.com, we'll Google you, and then you can schedule 15 minutes for somebody to do it like I'm doing. Obviously I can't get to everybody today, but we're going to use Irma as a really great example and go deep with Irma, and then other people can join into that too.
Alex, can you put the HTTPS links on Realtor or just Zillow?
Just on Zillow.
Okay.
Yep. Here is her homes.com. On her homes.com, she's got some of her social media stack. She's got her Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. She could add more. She could add YouTube. There's a couple more links that you can add to homes.com. Now, when I talk about social media stacks, that's that interconnectedness that's important. From Facebook, I should have your social media stack link into your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your website, whatever you got. And then from homes.com, I should be linking back to everything. And then from YouTube, you should have your social media stack linking back. When everything's cross-linked, it's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you. You'll start to see that when people Google you, everything is showing up on page 1 and it's looking tight. She does have 5 service areas. That's all you can do with homes.com. She does have her bio. So the rest of this is looking pretty good, just adding in those social media links. Let me go to, where do we, homes.com, Facebook. I can jump on Facebook for a second. This might be her personal. So let me go to her business one. This is probably her business one here. I don't know if I'm going to get in there and check it out right now, actually, because I'm logged into a special Facebook account. Let's see if I can do another one here.
His password's love cats.
Yeah, exactly.
1. Love cats 1.
Exclamation point. So yeah, that kind of gives you the sense of it, right? Like we looked at Google Business, we looked at Realtor, we looked at Zillow, we looked at homes.com, we looked at LinkedIn. She probably has an Instagram somewhere. Oh, her business account was suspended. See, so that, there you go. We don't even need to go there.
Let me just touch on that real quick. Why was it suspended? Do you know? Sometimes they will suspend a business account because your business page name has nothing to do with what the true business name is. And if they can't validate it, then they will block it. They will suspend it for spamming. I know I've had about 18 of them done that way. So you have to go through and validate it with them. Anyways, it could be for other reasons. That's just one reason, that if they can't validate the business name, that's a process you can go through with Facebook support.
There you go. Somebody's asking if I could put the link to get your free grade. So I'm going to drop that in the chat for you all as well. That's where you can get your audit and get a scheduled appointment with us. What I want to show you here is, I'm going to give you an example of a real titan in the industry. Okay. So this is over here. I'm going to go over here to so this is our blueprint. This is really what we've figured out, is there's 181 data points on these 8 websites. And we've created a process to actually go through and optimize. We've optimized over 8,000 top producers in the industry already. We're growing really quickly. And my favorite guy to bring up is, you know Gary Ashton, obviously, Joe? Yeah, so that guy, #1 Remax team in the world, huge marketing budget, huge marketing team. And I couldn't get him on a call for nothing until I finally got him on my podcast. And then he goes, all right, tell me what you do. And I go, well, we audit you. He's like, all right, audit me. He's like, I probably have 100 out of 100. I'm like, let's see. So he had an 82. highest score I've ever seen. Okay. Way higher than Gabe Cordova, way higher than Tristan Nahumada. They know this. But he said, well, I still want my 18 points. How do I get to 100? So we went in and optimized all his stuff. And then he's like, okay, damn, this is good. Come to my team. And then we optimized like 20 of his team members. And then the next thing is like, oh, I want to invest in your company. So now he's actually an investor in our company too. And we did the branding for him. So we set up the branded imagery to make sure he showed up as #1 Remax team in the world. We scored him at an 82. This is what the grade system looks like. So we give you a grade, we give you recommendations, we score it profile by profile. We give you a bunch of free videos and downloadable documents. And then we went in and optimized all his stuff. So first thing we did, we got him on a 90-minute Zoom call. And that's what we do with all of our clients. Get all your information specific to you. This isn't like factory automation. This is actually us understanding what are your service areas? What do you want your branding to look like? What's your headshot? Do you have a personal logo or do you want to just use the company logo? We get all that info and then we go in and we design the branding for every platform, every single size, because each platform has a different size, as you know, and we don't want that to look pixely. We also don't want it to get cut off on a mobile device. So we center all that, we manipulate it, and then we go in and optimize. And within 30 business days, we optimized all of Gary's stuff. So his Google, his Facebook business page, added the social stack, did all the connections. We went into his Instagram. We even do a lot of Instagram stuff for him now, like we do some reels for him and things like that. But we also did his LinkedIn. We also did his YouTube channel. We did his homes.com, his realtor.com, and his Zillow. And then boom, he's got 100. So that's really what we're doing is like, we don't care if you're a 2 out of 100 or you're an 82 out of 100. We're going to find the 181 data points. We're going to clean it up. We're going to optimize it. So you can literally go into a listing presentation and say, go ahead and Google me, right? You don't want to walk out of a listing presentation going, man, I hope they don't Google me.
And you better believe that the consumer is searching for you.
100%.
I had an expensive listing once and they wanted to fire me as a listing agent. I listed the house for $50,000 more than anybody had got. This is before this big boom took off. It was probably 2014. And she wanted to fire me because next to her picture on my Facebook was a picture of her house. Next to that was a picture of something that I took a couple weeks before that was on the refrigerator of $1 million house. It said, I don't fart, I whisper in my pants. And the caption was, the things that we see on showings. It was just a funny picture. Everybody get a laugh out of it. But she Googled me. She went to my Facebook. I almost lost $1 million listing because of that. Right. And I said, oh, I'll just remove the picture. No big deal. So people will Google you. I have had people Google and say, back when I was selling, and say, oh, I see you everywhere. And then it's like, who else are you interviewing? I'm like, I don't see the other agent anywhere. So people do Google. And heck, before you even get in the door, they Google, right? They're going to type in real estate agents near me or Hanover, PA real estate agents or whatever. If you're not there, you ain't there, right? If you're there, 100%. You get the opportunity.
100%. So yeah, I mean, now Gary obviously says Google me, and we're working on a nice cutout of him, cardboard cutout with like the Google thing sticking out. Want to bring that on the road with me.
That's fine.
But the other thing that we do is once we clean up your entire presence, we package it into this digital business card product called the Instacard. And that way you can share your information to people, like you're going on a listing presentation or you just met somebody and you share this card with them and it's fully interactive and links to all your profiles. It goes to your Facebook, it goes to your LinkedIn, it goes to your realtor, your Zillow. It sucks in your reviews and displays them right on your digital card. So you look like a rock star, right? It's like kind of like a website in your pocket, but shareable by QR code, shareable by text message, shareable by email.
Is this something that you can use, say, on Instagram, link in bio as a link?
100%. I got a lot of clients that do that. It's like a link tree on
that
steroids.
To me is one of the missed opportunities, right? You're on Instagram. To me, all this is digital marketing, right? This branding, digital marketing kind of stuff. You have to start with the end in mind. You want to get them to the end. What does that end look like? Does it look like YouTube? Does it look like your website? Does it look like your Facebook, right? It's typically one of those three, or a landing page of sorts, which is the website. But when you're in not LinkedIn, when you're in TikTok and you need 1,000 people on TikTok or Instagram, you can do it just instantly in Instagram. You want to be able to have them click on a link and take you to somewhere, which is the gatekeeper to say, okay, I want to send you over here. Right. And
Dude,
if this product does that, that's awesome. It's an awesome product.
Not only does it do it for that, but think about Google. Google, you can have a schedule an appointment button, and then people could just download your card right off your Google business page. So this is what the card looks like. It's fully interactive. You can have video on it. You got a customizable menu. You can put your YouTube videos in it. We really max it out. You can do every color scheme you want down to every last pixel. You can add custom navigation links. You could put a Facebook pixel inside of it so you could retarget everybody that
no sir
art. Yeah,
that's slick, man. What is it? How do I get there? What's the site for that?
So getinstacard.com is for the Instacard. And so yeah, this is everything that you can do with it. Ryan Sturhan uses it. He says it changed his life. We got a nice video with him as well. And now I'll just share with you all, like, what do we do to help you? I mean, how many people on this call feel like they need a little help with their digital presence, cleaning up their stuff? Let me know in the chat. We put together a special offer for everybody who's part of this LabCoatAgents group. This is obviously our favorite Facebook group in the world. So here's what we do: Google business optimization, Facebook business optimization, Instagram business, YouTube channel branding and setup, LinkedIn optimization, homes.com, realtor, Zillow. Total value is like $1,100 if you were to, price it out one by one. We're the only company that does all 8. There's companies like HomeSnap that do Google. There's other companies that do your social, but we do all 8 in one swoop, which is important because you don't want to piecemeal this kind of stuff. You want to get it all done consistently and cross-linked. Besides that, we give you a bonus 90-minute one-on-one call, and we do your branding for you. So we design those Canva images for all your different platforms. We make sure they're custom for every client, and we collect all your personal information so that we do it unique for you. No 2 clients look the same here. Total value $1,770. Obviously, you got to look at, do you want to do it yourself? It does take time. 20 to 40 hours is what we've timed it. And we've actually timed this at least 10 times. Okay. With people that kind of knew what they were doing versus ones that didn't know what they were doing. 20 to 40 hours is what it would take. And we also customize your digital card with all the stuff that we optimize. That's a $297 value. And so the beautiful thing is, if you scan this QR code or you click on the link that I'll put in the chat, we're giving this to you for $996. That's it. $897 is for the digital optimization of all 8 profiles, and then $99 for the digital card for the first year. No contract. Basically, you're investing in your branding. And what realtors love about this is, isn't like, one of those monthly things. And this isn't one of those, do they take it away if I cancel things? This is yours. We're going to clean up your stuff. It remains on your digital presence. You work with us in the future or not, we've just helped you clean up everything online.
Yeah. And listen, I know half of you don't know your realtor.com password, but you can reset your password, because I'm sure you're going to need the passwords. You're going to give them a list of the sites that you're going to do and the credentials for the sites and such like that, right?
Yeah, we help everybody log in. And at the end of the day, you get all your passwords. We just get temporary access to do our stuff, and then we give it right back to you. In a lot of cases, we do administrative, like we'll get administrative logins. And I'm going to give you the direct link here. Give me 1 second to this discounted price. People are asking for it in the chat.
It's a long one.
There we go.
Now, what about LSAs, anything like that? Do you help set that up too? Is that an additional service?
Yeah, so that's the next level. We do run Google LSAs for our clients. We want to make sure that they have a good fighting chance on there, because it's kind of saturated a little bit. So we want to make sure that we get you to at least 25 Google reviews before we even touch that.
Yeah, gotcha. What's your so I just had my Google business profile suspended for no known reason. It's back up now, but Should I be worried about doing too much else with it right now, or will it get suspended again? Oftentimes these suspensions come because they can't validate, right? And even like doing the LSA, you have to go through the validation process. So there, I know people talk about the difficulties of connecting with Google or Facebook support. I don't have a problem, right? So you just log into your admin tools, or if you're in Google or if you're in Facebook, go to your ads account and then click on the little question button and start a case, and you can talk to somebody right away. But they don't just suspend them. I mean, if there's anybody that should be suspended, it's me. I mean, I got 100 business accounts, right? On Facebook, but they all run ads and everything, right? And so if you're a real estate agent and your stuff is set up right, and if you're Johnny Moe Realtor, then your profile should say Johnny Moe Realtor, not the Johnny Moe team, because the Johnny Moe team's not validable unless you are incorporated or you're filed as the Johnny Moe team, right?
That's an important distinction. Like, we went to Ylopo and over 100 different teams signed up with us. And the number one thing we saw is that if you're like a team leader in a smaller team, just using the team name on your Google business profile isn't going to be optimized for you. So people may look you up, right? So you want, if you're a smaller team, you should put your name in there. Like Gary Ashton does Gary Ashton, Remax Advantage, la, 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 because the search engine optimization on those Google business pages is a little tricky. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question while we're talking about Google, because I mean, you know a lot about Google, so we're having some good conversation. Yeah. We posted Google announcements, and with Google announcements, you can put a 30, I think a 60-second video in there. Maps, you can do 30 seconds. You can do a 75 mega under 1 minute video. And you can put hyperlinks in your 1,500 character description, but you also have the button to learn more, and you can link them over to your YouTube or a blog. As a matter of fact, I suggest everybody that you do that. And when you post your blog to your website, you post a mini version of your blog and the learn more button over to your blog. So if somebody clicks on it, they get pixelated and retargeted, or you send them over to your YouTube so that when they land there, all your contact information is there, or that you can gain a subscriber, right, or a follower. How important is Google announcements in the grand scheme of everything? I mean, do they rank if they're optimized?
I don't see them showing up on a search too much. So I can't say that they're like a top priority. I would say YouTube videos are going to show up way higher. Google owns YouTube. So, I mean, if you get some good title tags and descriptions and keywords on a YouTube video, good chance it can show up on a page one search. Even like put in stuff on Vimeo. Vimeo shows up a lot too.
Believe it or not, Vimeo, when I was just yesterday, I was looking up current trends of United States. Everybody likes to say these are the rankings, but that's worldwide. I don't care about the rest of the world. I care about America when we're talking about business. And Vimeo was like I think it surprised me. It was hot, maybe number 11 or something like that, or number 7 for American search companies. And I'm like, damn, I have hundreds of videos on Vimeo, because that's what I use for my hosting platform to embed and everything else. I'm like, wow, I should have probably optimized some of these.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little trick I used to do. Before COVID, I would go to all these real estate offices and present, and I would meet with the managers, and I would do a video testimonial with the manager about the workshop, and I'd put the video up on Vimeo with their name. And dude, I'm on page 1 for their name.
Wow.
Like instantly, like within days, brilliant. The video was like right there. I was like, I almost felt bad. I was like, I'm dominating their digital presence. I didn't even mean to, but yeah, Vimeo indexes really well. YouTube indexes really well. Those are the kind of things that show up on a page 1. Blog posts show up really good on a page 1 search if you do it right. But I don't see the Google thing.
I hope everybody understand. I hope everybody picks up on what Alex just said. It's a strategy that we follow when we post a lot of videos. Use YouTube to hack Google. Use YouTube to hack Google, because they ain't going away. They're brothers, right? Parent, brother, sister, father, mother, whatever they are, right? Google owns YouTube. Google's number 1 search site, visited site by far than anybody else. And then it's YouTube, right? And use YouTube to hack Google.
Yeah, I had some questions about LSA, so I want to show this too, just so people get the difference. Like, so Google's been around obviously a long time. what I think 2001, then came Google business pages, then came Google AdWords in 2004, right? Then came Google business pages in 2014, right? And now a year or two ago, we have Google local service ads. And if you're looking at this page right here, best realtor in Malibu, I'm going to see a couple realtors on the top with their photo and with their reviews. This is Google local service ads. This is where you get screened by Google. You have to submit paperwork. You got to get approved by Google. You got to have a decent number of reviews to even show up. And they're building out this whole list. Now, just below that is Google AdWords. You're seeing these 3 ads. Okay. And then just below that is Google Business. So you can start to see the hierarchy of how Google is building this out. And really, they want to recommend the best agents that pick up the phone and do business. That's their strategy. It's just the same strategy. My dad was a technology consultant with Google stuff back in the day in the Y2K projects. And he used to say, like, Google just wants to make good recommendations that people can count on. So what's Google doing? They're recommending realtors, more or less, that they, based on their system, can count on to pick up the phone and service. So they're checking your insurance background. They're checking your Department of State license. Are you keeping a good credit card on file? Are you delinquent? Any of those flagged, boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
Right. But as long as you're a good working realtor, they're going to keep you up there. And there's a threshold. The longer you're there doing it, the more leads you get. Right. Once you hit 20 leads, there's like a certain lead threshold. You break over that and you're not like moving around as much. And you're kind of like holding a top spot. Yeah. There's like all kinds of algorithms behind this. It's crazy, but we've been learning this over the past year and a half or so.
And it's a moving target though, right? So you're learning it, but you'll never stop learning it because it keeps changing. Exactly. It's like, I don't even know what they call Google business pages anymore because they changed the name again. I'm like, I just still call it Google business page.
Yeah. Now they're moving it to Google Maps and then they're moving the dashboard into Google Maps.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Me either.
But while you just said that, one thing that I learned a year ago from somebody was that you right now have the ability to go into Google Maps. Now, you can't do a great deal with it, but if you got a unique name, you can do something with it. But you can go into Google Maps and leave reviews and put pictures of different places. And all of a sudden, people just see your name more places than not. I did that last year when I was in Charleston, South Carolina. My pictures have gotten something like 50,000 views, right? At these different restaurants or places that I was. And I only did 10 of them or so. But now it made me a Google local tour guide or something.
Yeah,
right?
Local Google guide. Yeah.
Now here is the thing. I would put that in my marketing, right? I'm a Google certified local tour guide. 100%. I don't care what any real estate agent thinks about my marketing. I really don't. I only care about what the consumer does. When the consumer sees Google certified local tour guide, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna make me stand out and look just a little bit different. Right.
Yeah. I mean, all of these are opportunities, whether you're Google local service ad, Google screened, you're a Google screened agent, put that into your marketing. Whether you're a top rated agent on a Google search for a specific keyword, whether you're SEO, hey, if you search Malibu real estate homes for sale, I'm number 1 on page 1, anything. Hey, I got the most reviews on realtor.com for this town. I have the most recommendations for realtor.com on this town. Anything that can make you stand out.
Anything.
Yeah.
Right. And every time you get a 5-star review, I would be making a video about it. And listen, if you got 10 of these little videos that are floating around online, people are going to start to notice. You're going to start to stand out. Don't get me wrong. Every realtor will copy you because that's what agents do. They just steal your ideas. Right. But I would be putting that out there because, again, you want the general public. So the more traffic you can drive to a landing page, this is why I talk about, let's jump into Gary Vaynerchuk for a minute. He put out a book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Every real estate agent in the world that I know goes out there, right hook, right hook, right hook, right hook, right? Go out there and talk a little bit about the community, tell stories about interesting people, places, of things, drive people to a blog that's not so real estate related, right? That may be about somebody cool in your neighborhood or an icon that's 102 years old that lived in the area. Run a little ad on it. People land on it and then retarget them, right?
Yeah,
because they've been
perfect.
pixelated.
Let me leave everybody with some actionable items. Number one, on Google, get your 25 reviews. and add your sold properties. That's like adding the sold properties like a set it and forget it thing. If we go to realtor.com, take your reviews from everywhere else and upload them to the recommendations, so you got an online reputation there. If we're talking about LinkedIn, download your contacts using some of the tools that Tristan mentions, like MC Backup. Download all your contacts, go to LinkedIn on a desktop computer, upload that list, and like half of those people LinkedIn will find. That's LinkedIn, Realtor. On Zillow, make sure your service areas are populated. A lot of people.
Would you say that again on LinkedIn? What do you do?
You back up your contacts from your phone, right? Using like MC Backup or some app on the app stores. Sure. And then it'll give you a spreadsheet. You go to LinkedIn using desktop computer and you go to your network and there's a whole upload spreadsheet button. That's the only platform on social media that lets you do this, by the way.
Oh, wow.
You can upload a spreadsheet and then boom, LinkedIn finds all your connections for you. It won't find everybody, but it finds a really high number.
Yeah.
And then I would say for Zillow, service areas and putting a link in the bio to get that high authority linking. And then for YouTube, set up your YouTube channel, make sure it's linking to all your social media, and then start posting some videos. Those are just some quick actionable items. I mean, each of those shouldn't take you more than 20, 30 minutes.
What's your favorite tool for optimization? I mean, it might be different tools for different things, right? So YouTube, I know TubeBuddy and vidIQ. It's ironic that if I go to TubeBuddy and I run a search term, it's like, oh, that's a good one. Then I compare it against vidIQ and vidIQ is like, nah, it's not really a good one. It's like, man, who's right? Right. But then if you go to like SEMrush, or if you go to keywordtools.io or these other things, you might get something completely different on a long tail keyword that ranks in Google. And if you use that, you'll get better results in Google than you would on YouTube. What's your favorite user-friendly tool?
Getyourfreegrade.com.
That's the one.
Shameless.
Yeah. You like that lead in, huh?
No, I mean, I like vidIQ. I like TubeBuddy. I like my favorite tool for social media right now. And I know a lot of people aren't on this, but it's TikTok, not to post on TikTok, but TikTok to post on everything else. Use TikTok because the video editor is like through the roof, so good. And then just download. It's the only site that lets you download or share it on Facebook or share it on Instagram. So you can like literally create stuff using the TikTok app and then share it everywhere else.
Now, there's two things I would say about that as a hack. Download it without, if you can download it without music, and then use the music from the other platforms.
Correct.
And definitely there's a, let me just look this up real quick. Remove
there's
TikTok
that's
watermark. You want to get a system like, where is this one? I just shared it with somebody the other day. Of course, I'm not going to find it when I need to find it, but there's tools that will allow you to remove the watermark from the TikTok watermark, right?
Yep.
So, because you will start to be penalized. Here's the deal, man. 5 years ago, right? Facebook denied that they had a pixel counter. But they have a pixel counter, so that's how they can tell whether a picture has been uploaded or not, because what they seek is unique content. And they got billions of dollars, so they can, in brilliant minds, they can do whatever they want, right? They're doing the same thing with the watermarks, or is this video unique, right? When I upload, so I make my videos, I have them on my phone, then I will use the music from each different platform. Now it's considered a different video on each unique platform. It takes an extra 5 minutes, right? But I'm not going to run into that issue where you got double overlays or the TikTok logo or anything else like that. But the TikTok editor takes some time to learn, but man, it's ridiculously good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I forget the name of that app too. We use it too. I can't remember it right now.
To remove the watermark?
Yeah, I Googled it too. I couldn't find it.
I just shared it with somebody down wherever I was. Maybe it's snaptick.app or something like that.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I would do, because you want to be unique on each of these platforms. And, don't post, if your post, like, I don't expect everybody to, and I'm not saying this to be on a pedestal or anything else like that. God, when I'm done this, I'm going to go lay down and take a nap. But so yeah, I'm not this ridiculous, whatever. But when you posting your reels, when you're posting your Facebook, I know Facebook wants content and stuff like that. I got 4 or 5 different groups that I'm in. I got LabCoat brokers. I have my own group for the company. Then I have my own personal profile. Then there's another group, right? If you post too quick, Facebook will put you in jail, right? They will put you in jail. Or heck, I was suspended. I had to validate everything the other day. I almost lost my account. So make sure if you're going to post to groups, if you're going to, I think everybody should be posting to different groups and things like that, local groups. Maybe you control them, you create them or whatever. Just make sure you don't post too fast or you get put in jail. So I know it's off topic, but that's what is this? Oh, thought you were showing us some.
By the way, that's a great tool. Airtable. You know Airtable?
Yeah, Airtable's great. Yeah. When somebody else sets it up.
For sure. Next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. You're still on Airtable.
I set up Monday.com and I use that. Ridiculous. And I set up ClickUp, the other one. And then Airtable, one of our editing teams used that. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not setting this thing up. Right. Yeah. So yeah, really powerful tools. How do they find you, man? Give us your contact information and share that link. Did you share the link down in the chat section on how they get that special offer?
Yeah, I'll put my phone number there. I'll put the link there.
That's and Jake, if we can grab that from the chat section and put that in the LCA too, that'll be great.
And then if they just want their free grade, I'll put in the get your free grade.
Yeah.
And yeah, if there's anybody that wants us to present to your office, to your brand on this concept, or do an audit of the company or the team, we've been doing a lot of those lately. That's been crazy.
Yeah.
See, like, because the Google business, when you have like 14 or 25 offices, that gets pretty sloppy pretty quick.
I can. Yeah. And I do believe that, listen, things are breaking all the time, right? So finding broken links, I think, is really important. When you is that a negative mark on your SEO score, broken links or something like that? Or do they not rank on that?
Yeah, that is a negative score for sure.
So you want to increase your score and get rid of those busted links.
100%.
No more links to Xanadu.com or xnxx.com. Believe it or not, they're in the top 10. I'll tell
you a story. One time when I first launched the business, I found like a really influential realtor that had a broken link linking to another realtor in another country, and didn't go over very well.
I bet. As long as it wasn't whitehouse.com.
She wanted to kill me.
So anyways, guys, we got anything else, Alex?
No, that's it, man. I hope everybody at least share your biggest takeaways, really. Share what you're going to take action on. Because I don't, whether you sign up for the service or not, I just think it's important that you know that you should Google yourself, that you should have a Google business page, that you should be taking some action on this, because there's plenty of people that are, and you just don't want to miss out or be blindsided.
I want to hit this question up real quick before we go. There was a question down here. Let me find it right here. There was a bunch of things in here. Blah, 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 blah. Somebody had mentioned about they only have a couple of sales. And so, here it is. Josh said, I'm close to invisible, but also just landed my second accepted offer. When does one have to have enough of an income stream to validate a web audit?
No, instantly. The second you get a Department of State license, realtor.com, Zillow, and homes.com create profiles for you without you even knowing about it. And they create them default blank.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Second thing is, if you're a brand new agent, I would be, before I even go out and talk to people, I'd be telling all kinds of people to leave me 5-star reviews on Google, because it's not like Zillow where it has to be a transaction. You should ask your mortgage broker to leave you a review, ask your managing broker to leave you a review.
Great communication skills. Right. Great communication skills.
Professionalism. He's honest. He has integrity. All that kind of character reference reviews are perfectly fine. Some people can just hit the 5-star and that's it.
Yeah.
Right. Which will still give you a review. It's better when there's words, but yeah, instantly. Realtor.com, put in your recommendations instantly. Build all that up so that you're not. I always feel bad for the brand new agent that goes out and he's like, I have nothing. You actually can build all that, because the online world is different than the real world. Right? You got a little bit of an edge there.
So I want to say this about the digital world. Okay. The digital world, it's a fake reality, but it's still a reality. It's a real place. It's a real thing that exists that isn't tangible, and we can be anybody and anything that we want on digital, on social, right? And I really mean that. I really mean, and so what you want to do, when I was coaching new agents, when I was onboarding new agents, I would tell them, get out of the habit of saying me and start saying we. Just flip the M upside down. We have been in business since. We have sold 300 homes this year, right? You may have never sold a damn thing, but it doesn't matter because it's all in the name of the broker. So we, as a team, well, we take a team approach, right? So you can be as big as you want in social media and on Google and these digital assets. You can be anything and anyone you want. If you look at the NAR generational trends report and look at the stats, how many agents did the consumer communicate with before they made a decision? It's a very high number. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I don't want to quote it, but I think it's in the 70s, maybe like 72%. Talk to uno. One agent, right? So if they get your mailer, if they get your phone call, if they get your whatever it might be, if you're running ads or anything else like that, then they look you up in your profile. I was working, I'm not going to say any names, but I was working with a luxury broker. And I went to the website and I said, there's not a thing about your website that screams luxury. Nothing. There's nothing on you got $500,000 properties listed. If in your area luxury is 2 million and above, why do I see anything other than 2 million and above properties? Why, if you don't work with $400,000 properties, why do I even see them? Now they have to be there, IDX agreements. I get that in the search, but that doesn't mean they have to be featured, right? So why aren't these? Why aren't there virtual, $500,000 virtual tours? Where are those tours? Let's put those on the homepage, right? So you can be anything that you want. Understand what is the message that you're trying to deliver and be that person. Right? The consumer wants to see reviews. The world is going to use this device. I'm going to say this too. The best time to start this stuff was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The second best time is today. Okay. Yeah. Because the longer you wait, the further the ship gets away from you. Now, understand what the consumer looks like and the makeup of the consumer. The Millennials are the second largest group of buyers or generations, I should say. Gen X is below that. Baby boomers is first. Then it's millennials. Then it's Gen Z. Then it's Gen X. Okay. What do you think Gen Z's habits are? It's all, they were born with this in their hand. It's all here. Cisco said that 79% of the data delivered to mobile phones in 2022 will be video, right? So they understand the trends of the consumer, the wants of the consumer, the habits of the consumer, and meet them there, give them what they're looking for. That is they're going to go to Zillow and take a look at you. They are going to go to realtor.com or did I say Zillow, not Google? They're going to go to Google and look you up or look for realtors in your area. Be there, be present. So when they see, oh, let me click on this one. This one looks good.
Be relevant. Right? That's the biggest message.
Be relevant.
At Inman this year, number one thing was be relevant.
Yeah, for sure. Relevant. Be relevant. Be there. On our website, it says be seen, be respected, be referred. That's it. You need to be seen. You need to be there. Let's face it. If you're going to go to, I'm 50. And so the big talk in my world now is colonoscopies, right? How we got here, I don't know. But I'm going to go to a doctor. You have to, the way the whole medical world is, you got to get a referral to somebody that specializes in that. So of course I called my insurance company. I said, well, who do you have? And they gave me a list of about 20 people that I can go to. The first thing I did with every one of those 20 people was ask all my friends, who did you use? Because I want a referral. And then I went to Google and I Googled every one of them and I looked for reviews, right? I'm doing the same thing for my doctor that they're going to do for somebody to help them with the biggest asset of their life, right? Arguably. But the Gen Z, the millennial buyers, they're mobile, they're apps. So be there.
And anyways, one last question I'll answer, and then we got to go. The Google reviews. I saw Chris and Nicole both ask. Some people lately are seeing this issue where their reviews aren't posting. They ask their customer for reviews, and then the review doesn't show up on Google. There's a couple different things that I can tell you about that I do know about. Number one, there is a bug at Google right now, and a lot of accounts are being affected. And until that bug is cleared, reviews won't get posted. So if you're seeing 0 reviews get posted, that could be a sign that you're part of that bug. If you're seeing one slip through, that means you're not part of the bug. But if it's like, yo, I just asked 10 people, they all said they did it and I got 0, there could be a chance there and you want to send a ticket to support. But right now, all they're saying is it's escalated, we're working on it, la, la, la. Another one is special characters. Try not to let your customers, you may mention this to them, put in all kinds of special characters.
Smiley faces.
Yeah, smiley faces, a lot of exclamation points, question marks, things like that, because that's programming language and that sometimes hits like a snag in the bug too. So then they don't post that. Don't slam it all at once, like 10 reviews in one day or in like 10 minutes. That's definitely going to be a flag. And changing your addresses and stuff like that, you have to be very careful because they'll suspend accounts like boom. We changed our company ad. We have 260 reviews. We changed our company address and boom, even our account went down and we had to like battle Google on it. Had to like send all this kind of paperwork and proof that this is actually our building address. It's crazy.
Right. Validation.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing it because it keeps the spam to a minimum.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, guys, if you want to check more out, you can go to, what is it? RealGrader.com.
RealGrader.com. Yep.
RealGrader.com. Go get your free score. Go to getyourfreegrade.com. And then we're going to share the link to the special package because you don't want to hear /GSRP dash. Ain't nobody's going to be able to write this down. So we'll grab that. I'm going to grab a copy of it in case Jake doesn't get a copy of it, and we'll get that over into all the social medias and such. So you have that. Yep. Anyways, hey man, Alex, I want to thank you for your time. I got 5 pages of notes here, even though this is a hot place that I like to be engrossed in because I think Google, quite frankly, Tristan and I did a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and I said, Tristan, if there is one platform right now that you would suggest somebody to go all in on, what would it be? And his answer was Google.
Yeah.
So you got Alex, you got me, you got Tristan. Listen to one of the 3. Google is that powerful. It's not going away. It is the gatekeeper to everything on the interwebs. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Alex, thank you. We'll share this link out. Thank you for your knowledge. Everybody that's been here, thank you for being here. Peace out.
Have a great day.